The opinions expressed are those of the show's host and not the staff or management of Port St. Lucie Broadcasters. Any reproduction without written consent of WSTU and WPSL is strictly prohibited. Now it's time for Quality of Life Radio, brought to you by WellMed. Here are your hosts, Gary Owen and Tom Bouvier.
Hello and good morning, everyone. Those of you that are watching live on Facebook, this is a phenomenal, fabulous, spectacular, and might I add, a sunny Tuesday morning, October 12th. And I am your vibrant, tenacious rhinoceros of a host, Gary Owen.
And I'm your awesome, powerful, victorious co-host, Tom Bouvier.
I feel the power.
Feel the power
We're
today.
the powerhouse this morning, man.
Power hour.
The powerhouse.
We got. I think
in the house.
I think it's because of our guest.
So those of you are wondering what the heck you're watching this morning, it is still the live, red hot, wild Quality of Life radio show, and I'm your host, Gary Owen.
And I'm your co-host, Tom Bouvier.
So I'm going to make sure he's on the ball on this. And by the way, we're very happy and honored this morning to have our show sponsored by two, not one, but two Medicare Advantage carriers, and that is going to be Aetna and Cigna Medicare. So we're happy to have them with us. And for those of you that are driving on this crazy highway we call US Uno, you're probably listening in on 1450 AM WSTU, or if you're up in Port St. Lucie, 1590 AM. So thank you for joining us. And those of you that are watching live on Facebook, that's at the Quality of Life radio show. And also you can catch us live in the studio and WSTUtv.com. Tom, would you share some phenomenal information as to why we are here?
Gary, we come here every Tuesday morning with wonderful guests to do three things. Number one, we like to bring relevant content. That's content, information that's actually useful to your life. Number two, in line with that, we love to support and showcase local business owners. We have a wonderful gentleman here in the station. Who we're going to be interviewing and letting he's going to be letting us know all about his services. And number three, we love to educate and bring information about insurance planning that'll help improve the quality of life of our listeners.
And really, that's what we're about. We're passionate. All three of us here this morning are passionate about your quality of life, whether it's financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is you want to add an LY to a word, that's what we're here for. And, quite frankly, we understand that insurance is boring talking about insurance. However, when Tom and I speak about insurance in a profound manner as such, we make it fun, we make it interesting and lively, and we bring valuable content that will help you guide you on your journey and enhance and improve, I believe, your quality of life and health. So this morning, we have a very special guest with us this morning, and that is Dr. Brian Moriarty of the one and only Loving Chiropractic. Dr. Brian, good morning.
Hello, Gary. Hello, Tom. It's great to be here. You guys have such passion for this show. It's truly an honor to be here at the Quality of Life show, aka Tom and Jerry show, aka Tom and the Boov show, aka Leave It to the Boov show.
Oh, wow.
That's right. It's all about the Boov.
The Boov. The Boov.
Well, that makes him feel good. Look at him. I mean,
I'm feeling good.
The Boov was on our
Starting
team.
to sweat all this.
He was on our team for the 5K race over the weekend at Madison's Miracles. So me and Boov have a great connection here.
We do. I ran so fast nobody even saw me.
for how long?
Like, whoop. I ran to the bathroom when I
was going to say,
yeah.
32 yards.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what got you here in beautiful downtown Stuart.
My story begins actually with my dad. It's actually somewhat of a heartfelt story. My dad was growing up in the Northeast in the New Jersey, New York area. And when he was 18 years old, he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. Okay. Now they have a lot of treatment for Crohn's disease, but this was back in the 1950s, and they didn't have a whole lot of anything for Crohn's disease. And when he was 18 years old, my father was given 6 months to live. And that's quite a diagnosis to get. He had tried everything, but unfortunately the medical profession could not help him. Finally, on the advice of a friend of his, he was told to go to a chiropractor. Okay, this is in the 1950s. They weren't on every street corner like they are today. They were a sprinkling of them. So he rode the train an hour and a half each way from Jersey City, New Jersey into New York to get chiropractic care 3 times a week for 6 months. And instead of passing on in 6 months, he lived another 30 years because of chiropractic care. So that's what inspired him to become a chiropractor. He was in engineering school. He dropped that, went to chiropractic school, became a chiropractor. And that is why I am a chiropractor today, because it saved my father's life. And in that 30 years that he and my mother had 3 children, me being the middle child. So I'm literally alive today because of chiropractic care.
That's a heck of
Very.
I mean, that speaks volumes to what this can really do for your life.
Exactly. Chiropractic care is amazing. We have such a great practice here. We see miracles every day in the office from we see babies from birth. We see pregnant moms. We see families. We see Medicare patients. We see all and everywhere in between. And a lot of people think that chiropractic care is just about pain. Like I got a pain in the back. I got a pain in the neck. I need to go to the chiropractor. But it's also about improving your quality of life. In terms of the nervous system, they're broken down into 2 types of nerves, pain nerves and function nerves. The pain nerves are only 5% of your whole nervous system. Functioning is 95%. So if you're basing your health on pain, a lot of times you're missing the big picture of what's going on in your spine. And that's why we do a lot of wellness care, a lot of maintenance care, so that people can improve their life, that they can improve their allergies, their immune function, their asthma, their ADHD in their kids. We see so many different cases like that. That's not just your general lower back pain. And that's why it's such a great thing with this quality of life. It's like, we want to improve your quality of life. Yes, we'll help you with your backache, but there's a much bigger picture out there.
Can I give a shameless plug? We're always looking for additional quality of life sponsors.
I'll get my one.
I know you're feeling the love.
Motto, quality of life.
So when did you come to Stewart, and when did you start your practice?
Yeah, so, I grew up in New Jersey, went to college for undergrad in Atlanta, a little place called Oglethorpe University. Most people haven't heard of it. That's okay. And then I ended up going further south. I went to chiropractic school at Palmer, Florida, in Port Orange, Florida, near the Daytona Beach area. And then I had a wonderful opportunity once I got out of school to work for my aunt and uncle in Orlando. And we worked on hundreds of professional athletes, and we had this incredible practice there. But then at some point, I just kind of thought that everything wasn't there. We were having a tough time in our marriage, and I just needed a change of pace from that life. And I went to a conference called Dynamic Essentials. It's a very motivational, spiritual conference for chiropractors. And honestly, I don't know if you guys are spiritual or not, but I feel like God really spoke to me and said, come to Stewart, Florida. The people there need you. So literally, I quit a 6-figure job with family that I loved and still cherish to this day, and just said, listen, God's calling me somewhere else. I need to go somewhere. And that was about 7.5 years ago. So I came to Stewart, Florida. I bought a practice that was somewhat struggling. It was a gentleman, Dr. Mark Loving, great guy, great chiropractor, but he was getting older and looking forward to retirement. Mm-hmm. So I was able to purchase the practice from him. He was seeing about 75 patients a week, which is not bad in the chiropractic world. It pays the bills. But then when I took over the practice, I knew I had to change the culture. like you guys, I always see you guys at Chamber of Commerce events. I see you at networking events. You guys are everywhere. You got this radio show. That's what I wanted to do. Is I wanted to reinvent the wheel with this practice. Joined chambers, joined networking groups, joined everything. I'm on the Stewart Chamber board of directors. I'm a trustee there. I know you guys are trustees as well.
That's right.
And I wanted to hit the ground running and build a grassroots campaign for our office. And we've taken that office that 7.5 years ago was seeing about 75 patients to now over 800 patient visits a week.
That's amazing.
One of the largest practices probably anywhere in Florida.
1,000%.
Yeah. So, and honestly, we do no advertising. Any kind of advertising we do is honestly just to give back to wonderful nonprofits that have blessed us in so many ways. So we try to give back to a lot of them. But everything is word of mouth. It's really on autopilot. Just people like the experience, what they do. They put it on Facebook. They tell their friends, and it just kind of keeps coming in and in and in. And we are so blessed to be in this area. This community is phenomenal. I mean, just some of the people. It's truly a blessing to be here on the Treasure Coast, and God led me here.
So you answered the call, and now you're reaping the rewards.
Exactly. And now we also try to give back a lot too, because this community has blessed us so much.
Yes.
When we came here, honestly, I didn't have a pot to piss in. If I'm being frank, I mean, we didn't have much of anything.
I could have borrowed you my pot.
Yeah. So now we try to actively involve with a lot of different, with the churches and give back there with nonprofits like Madison's Miracles with Christina Stamper. Who
Shout out to Christina.
Thank you, Christina. She had a great 5K over the weekend. By the way, my legs still hurt from running in that 5K. I can barely sit down. So thanks to that, Christina, for making me run in that. Other nonprofits like Martin County Healthy Start, they do Dancing with the Stars. They had that a few weeks ago, and I was one of their judges this year, and I've competed in that a few years ago. And
I heard about that. I was supposed to be there, but my back took a.
Yeah. And then this weekend, I don't know if you guys have heard, but DDS for Vets, an organization.
We'll be there.
You'll be there. Yes. And I'm their MC for the gala. Me and Karen Vaughn are
awesome.
their MCs for a great night for the veterans and to support the military. And that's going to be an incredible gala. So there's a lot of great nonprofits. There's so many, that I can't name them all, but there's a few that really have an impact on me.
So it sounds like God was right.
Absolutely.
Telling you to come to Stewart.
He's always right.
That's right.
He always opens that door.
A little fun fact about Tom you may not know. He was a pastor at one.
Really?
I was a missionary in the Philippines for 5 years and did a lot of other ministry for another 15. So
wow.
Helped start churches around the world and up in Chicago as well.
Awesome.
So now I want to kind of, before we go on break, we got a couple more minutes before we go on our first break. So there are people, we were talking out before we sat in a room here. We were chit-chatting about Medicare and taking Medicare insurance and health insurance. That's great to know because many chiropractors, quite frankly, they don't take insurance.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of them are cash practices, and to each his own. They have to kind of figure out what's going to be their game play. For us, we love Medicare. We have a great retiree population here in Florida. Medicare is a great insurance to take if your fees are affordable and you pretty much keep it simple. Medicare pays very well, and most times they have very little copay or no copay for a patient to come into a chiropractic office, which they don't realize that they actually have free adjustments and they can get a lot of visits for nothing just by using their insurance. But most people don't even know they have that or they have that kind of coverage. But the thing with chiropractic is sometimes it gets a little too complicated and there's a lot of different stuff in an office. Our chiropractic office that sets us apart, it's just straight chiropractic. You come in, you get an adjustment. There's no hot tub jacuzzi experience. There's no massage for an hour.
No hot rocks.
No, we have wonderful partners that we have in the community that we refer out for that because those things are great. We just don't want to have them in our office. So we refer to massage therapists, to rehab clinics. We refer to the salt room and to orthopedics that are great in the area. But with us, we want to be good at just one thing, chiropractic. We don't want to mix the message and have too many other things going on. Just come in, get your adjustment, you're in and out, and set you on your way.
So speaking of cash price, so we know that people who come in and have no insurance, they have cash. And I know you don't turn those people away.
Absolutely. We make it very affordable, even if they don't have insurance. If you have insurance, we check your benefits. We see some people have no copay, $5 copay. Some people have a $200 copay. So for those people, we wanted to make an affordable option so that they can get quality chiropractic care at a great price. So our self-pay rate is $30 a visit, lowest price on the Treasure Coast. We keep it affordable so everybody can participate.
That's amazing.
I've got people on Medicaid that come in and gladly pay $30 a visit because they know that that's a good price for them.
So when we come back from our break, we're going to talk more with Dr. Brian. And before we do go on break, a shout out to some of our clients, or two of our clients recently, Bill and Diane. I know Diane is a loyal listener. And Diane, thank you very much for listening to the world's finest quality of life radio show. And thank you for listening in. You're listening to the Quality of Life radio show on WSTU 1450, WPSL 1590. Go grab a cup of Joe, take a tinkle, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the world's famous, spectacular, red hot live quality of life radio show. I'm your host, Gary Owen, and we're in the studio this morning in downtown Stuart with Dr. Brian Moriarty of Loving Chiropractic. And Dr. Brian is going to talk to us a little bit about how to enhance and improve your quality of life through chiropractic care. So talk to us how that works.
Oh, how does that work?
So I'm going to come to you, and
You're going to come to me,
and I'm in pain, right? I'm a pain in the neck, and I have a pain in the neck. And so, what does that mean to the body when you have pains like this? And I have pains in my back, my lower back, my neck, my shoulders, stress. It's killing me, I think.
Yeah, a lot of times pain is an alarm system to the body. So it's when you feel that pain, it's like you've got an intruder in the house. Woo, 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 something's not right. And what a lot of people do for pain is they just ignore it. They cover it up. Maybe they take medications, injections, things like that to just get it to go away, where they forget about the underlying problem of what's happening structurally inside the spine. So the brain talks to the body through the spinal cord. It goes down through the spinal cord and out through the nerves, and it tells the entire body what to do. Every human function from the body comes from the brain and this intelligence telling it what to do. So when things are misaligned, or we use the word subluxated or subluxation in chiropractic, when they're subluxated or out of alignment, it affects the functioning to those nerves. So you could be having a headache, okay, and be getting pain from that. Or you could be having organ trouble. Like we've had people who've had high blood pressure, and there's a nerve that comes out of up here that goes to the heart that isn't working properly because there's pressure on that nerve. And by adjusting them, realigning them, that's what we do. We're realignment doctors to put the spine back into its normal God-given position. We turn those nerves back on, turn the power of the body back on so that everything functions at its optimum potential.
That's amazing. So I think what I hear you saying is, yes, if you're in pain, you need to go see Dr. Brian, or if you're not in pain, you should still go see Dr. Brian because you want to stay that way.
Yeah. If you've gotten to the point where you're in pain, you're probably like the alarm has gone off and the intruders are all in the house. Okay. When, we want you to come in when like you're looking at, there's a guy looking in the window. The alarm hasn't gone off yet, but it's
you
like
look on
something
your phone and they're on the front
something
porch.
doesn't seem right in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to do things preventatively. it's a big deal right now with health, with this whole, coronavirus and everything that's going on. It's like preventative maintenance, preventative health to make you function at your optimum potential. And a lot of people don't know that chiropractic actually improves the immune system, that there's nerves that go to your lymph nodes, that go to all your immune glands, that if there's pressure on those nerves, they don't work properly. And that, sadly, it's one of the things through this pandemic that gets missed is no one is talking about improving immunity. Okay. Everything is just reactive rather than proactive.
Good point.
And the immune system should be harnessed. People should be exercising more, taking the proper vitamins, getting plenty of rest, getting vitamin D from the sun, and getting your chiropractic adjustment so that these immune glands up here function at their optimum potential to ward off, God forbid, you come into contact with something.
Go ahead.
Will it help people lose weight?
So lose weight, no. There are different chiropractors that work with that, but
exercising will help you lose weight.
Exercising will help you lose weight.
Diet
yes.
will help you lose weight.
Yes, but you look great, Tom. Okay, so I hope you're not,
Oh, I'm not talking about me and my,
No,
my
he's
50-pound belly.
I got the eyes.
No.
Well, I got 20 to lose, but
Well,
that's okay.
I got more than 20.
Well, I think you look great, Tom.
I hold it well.
Yes, but yeah.
So to maintain that life, that healthy life, how often should a patient be coming to see you?
Great question. So I've been getting adjusted since I was literally 10 minutes old. Like I said, my father was a chiropractor. So right from birth, okay, there a lot of times right from birth, there's a lot of birth trauma. Babies that are born have no neck muscles to support their neck. So if you've ever seen a birth or even watched it on television, you hear a woman screaming and pushing. When they go through that process, a lot of times they're out of alignment right from birth. And that's one of the most undiagnosed conditions out there is neck misalignment from birth. So my dad, right when I was born at 10 minutes old, just did light pressure, no cracking or twisting, just light pressure to realign the bones in the neck. I've been getting adjusted my entire life. I've probably been adjusted like 10,000 times.
That's amazing.
I never get sick. I honestly don't even need to go to the doctor. And so I maintain that. I personally get adjusted once a week. Okay. Some people might want to come every couple weeks. Some people come once a month. Maybe they come once a year. But you should establish some kind of baseline of consistency of getting your spine checked and realigned if necessary.
That's really great advice. So I think, and listen, we all know our bodies. And I think that we need to pay close attention to what our body is telling us. So, and that body might be saying, okay, I think I need some help here, and go see Dr. Brian. And so if our audience wants to come by and see you, or they want to call you or find you to learn more about you on the website, how do they find you?
So you can always call the office, 772-219-3313, 772-219-3313. You can go to our website, lovingchiropractic.com. There's a lot of pictures of the office, so you can kind of get a feel for what our office is like. We're located at 632 Southeast Monterey Road, right next to the sheriff's office and across the street from the big RV park, Liberty Coach. So we're right there, conveniently located in Monterey Road, which a lot of people like because it's always the road they take to the beach or back from the beach. And you can always contact me on Facebook. I'm always open to answer a question, or see me at the Chamber of Commerce meetings with Gary and Boov, because we love to go to a lot of those different things as well.
And we'll definitely see you this weekend for the vets, and looking forward to that. Obviously, we're not going to let you leave because we have some really valuable information to share for the next 30 minutes of the show, and we'll bring you back in. One of the things I want to make mention of the fact, October is what month?
October is Infant Loss Month.
Infant Loss Month. What else?
We founded America in October.
Very good. Columbus reaches the New World in
Halloween.
1492.
Yeah.
What else?
Halloween,
yeah.
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Oh, Indigenous People Day. Yep.
And then what else? Has to do with the breast.
Breast cancer awareness.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Boov.
Breast
That's right.
Cancer Awareness Month.
I knew Boov would get the breast one.
But listen, I was waiting for that to
Gave the clue.
Yeah. And I'm trying to help him here. So, what is breast cancer? I mean, it's something that 1 in 8 women will experience, unfortunately, in their lifetime. And breast cancer cells usually form a tumor that can often be seen on an X-ray or to be felt as a lump. So self-examination is certainly helpful. And I can say that I'm happy and excited to know that my mother, who last month had surgery for her breast cancer, they caught it entirely. So she's got a great prognosis. So it hits home, right? I mean, I think every one of us knows someone who's been inflicted by cancer, breast cancer.
Yeah, sadly, my mother passed away last year from breast cancer.
That's
so
horrible.
it certainly hits home here, Gary. So if there's anything that to raise awareness for it, obviously that is a huge thing.
Absolutely, and I want to share some stats with everybody. And by the way, I mean, I don't think men realize that men get breast cancer as well. In fact, we had a client recently that came into our office that's going through that right now. But in 2021 alone, there'll be 285,000 new cases of invasive breast cancer in women, as well as 49,000 plus new cases of non-invasive breast cancer. 63% of breast cancer cases are diagnosed at a localized stage, for which the 5-year survival rate, by the way, is a whopping 99%. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. This year, an estimated 44,000 women, unfortunately, will die from breast cancer in the United States. Although rare, men get breast cancer too. In 2021, an estimated 2,700 men will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and approximately 530 will die. As I said earlier, 1 in 8 women in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. Breast cancer is the most common cancer in American women, except for what type of cancer?
Lung?
Nope.
Uterine?
Nope. Skin cancer, except for skin cancers. It's estimated that in 2021, approximately 30% of all new women cancer diagnosis will be breast cancer. And there are over 4 million breast cancer survivors in the United States today who won the good fight. And on average, every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer in the United States. Every 2 minutes. Some good news. Breast cancer death rates have declined 40% from 1989 to 2016 among women. The progress is attributed to improvements in early detection. So I'm a big advocate about cancer. 1.7 million Americans in the country get diagnosed with invasive breast cancer a year. It's not going away. A lot of people, Dr. Brian, attribute it to hereditary. And quite frankly, I hear people, because Tom and I deal with insurance and cancer and critical illness insurance is one of those policies that people, don't know a lot about. So when you're talking about 1.7 plus million people a year being diagnosed with cancer, I think it's important to have conversations about protection. So to have a lump sum of money, tax-free, whether it's $10,000 or $50,000, to cover that life event. So and that's what we talk about, and we help people, we educate people about protecting their life and their quality of life with insurance. And this is what insurance does. It's not an all-be-all, but it certainly does help when, if God forbid, you get diagnosed with cancer and you want to go to the #1 cancer hospital in the world, which is what? Do you think the top 3 cancer hospitals in the world, Doc?
MD Anderson?
MD Anderson's #1. Very good. #2. In New York.
John Hopkins?
That's #3. Very good. You're 2 out of 3.
Where's the other one?
New York.
New York still.
Sloan Kettering.
Sloan Kettering.
So those are the top 3 cancer hospitals. And if you got diagnosed with cancer and you're here in Florida and you want to go to MD Anderson, you can take that money and do that. And you've got money to live, to pay your bills. And of course, we know that there are some cancer drugs that are just so cost prohibitive, insurance doesn't cover it. So now you have a way to do that. So I just want to bring attention to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I want to remind everybody that if you haven't, for whatever reason, we don't make this show political, but if you haven't received your COVID shot, and you're a senior, you have the opportunity to call the Florida Elder Care Department at 1-800-96-ELDER. That's 800-963-5337, and get free transportation to get a shot where they can come to you at your door and provide you a COVID shot at no cost. So just keep that in mind. I want to make sure that everyone is aware of that. And then also, we, as you said, Columbus founded the New World. In what year, Tom?
1492.
Oh, I knew that too.
We remember the rhyme.
I give him an easy question.
Well, not everyone knows that.
So
Sloan Kettering, geez, he got
who sailed around?
1492.
I thought you would have had that one. I figured that was the first one you would have said.
Well, who sailed? Yeah, go ahead.
3 ships, Tom. So
Three
I gave you an easy question. So a follow-up question: what were the 3 ships that he sailed with?
Can I steal?
I will defer to Dr. Brian. I know the Pilgrims. What the Santa Maria?
Yeah.
The
what is
Pinto and the Santa Maria?
Pinta, not Pinto.
Or
That's a
was that
bean.
Not the beans.
Nina, Parento.
So the Santa Maria, the Pinta, and the
Nina.
Nina. Very good.
So I thought that was the Pilgrims.
No, that's Columbus.
Yeah.
That's
a Mayflower. The Pilgrims.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So I did
the Mayflower. Yeah. That's a different
era.
Time, different. Yeah. All right, very good. So we've got 4 minutes and counting before our next glorious break, where we can talk amongst ourselves as boys or
tinkle.
Now, I don't need a tinkle yet, thank God. But I appreciate that thought, though. It's very nice. Very nice of you to think about me.
It's your quality of life.
It is
quality of
the prostate.
Yeah,
right. We gotta fix that one up.
Good to hold it.
So, Tom, what are we going to talk about today? I mean, we kind of said yesterday we should probably talk about Part D, prescription drugs, and the new plans coming into the Treasure Coast this year for Medicare Advantage. I saw a new ad today in the newspaper, competitor. I'm not sure who, e-quote of something. I don't know. They're pushing the give backs and stuff like this. So there's a lot of misinformation out there. And in fact, the CMS, there are some lawsuits. I mean, we've seen these commercials with football Hall of Famers and celebrities, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. So Tom and I are here today in the studio to give you Medicare Straight Talk. We're not going to give you fluff and buff. We're not going to give you BS. And listen, we know the tactics of our competitors. We will not ever be on that side of the fence. We prefer to be black and white. Never be on the fence of being unethical and operate in a gray area. So we're going to provide you factual information that can change your life. I can promise you it would change your life. Tom and I deal with consumers daily. And I think the biggest, most contentious issue that Medicare beneficiaries have today is related to their prescription drug plans, their Part D. And if you don't get your Medicare right the first time, I always say, I've been saying this, I've been preaching this from the mountaintop for years. If you don't get your Medicare right the first time, the decisions you make today can last you a lifetime. And so many people think they're on a certain plan. And then when Tom and I and our staff and our agents across the state and across the country sit down with these Medicare beneficiaries, quite frankly, we find out they're not on the plan they thought they were on. And so we're gonna address that when we come back from our second and last break. We're gonna talk to you about the different Medicare plans, and more importantly, Part D, prescription drug, and how it can keep you out of the poorhouse. Okay, you're listening to the Quality of Life radio show on WSTU 1450 AM and WPSL 1590 AM. We'll be right back. Don't touch that dial. And welcome back to the Quality of Life Radio Show. This is Gary Owen, and my co-host Tom Bouvier is in the studio with Dr. Brian Moriarty, and we're going to ask Dr. Brian some Q&A. We're just going to test his knowledge on Medicare.
No.
So, he knows everything. So we're just going to find out just how much he really knows.
Start with the softballs.
No,
The hot seat.
not the dodgeballs. Yeah. I thought you wanted the Nerf. Okay, so Tom, we're going to talk a little bit about Part D, because Part D really, in fact, we may end up having to take the rest of this show and talk about Part D because that is really important. And you shared with me a story about a week ago about a client, like we always have, that they don't touch their Part D plans, where they're on maybe a Medicare Advantage plan that includes Part D. They're happy with the meat and potatoes of the plan, but the Part D part of it, it's costing them a lot of money out of pocket. So share with us how important that is and what they can do about that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gary. So Part D, of course, is the prescription drug portion of Medicare. It came about in 2006. Prior to that, everyone was on their own regarding prescription drugs. There were a few Medicare supplements that included drugs, but beyond that, most of Americans had to get their own medications however they could. So Part D can come in two ways, as Gary just mentioned. It can be included in what's called a Medicare Advantage plan, an all-inclusive plan, or it could be set up as a separate standalone PDP, prescription drug plan. And people who take one medication or no medications 1 year, and then all of a sudden they come to the point in their life where the doctor prescribes them 3 or 4 different medications, and God forbid they're on they're diabetic and have to go on to insulin, which can be very expensive, and somehow they don't think that they need to change their drug plan or change their Medicare Advantage plan because they say, drugs are included.
They said it and they forget it.
They said it and forget it. And you know what? With your Part D particularly, that is a mistake, because even within Medicare Advantage plans, the Part D benefits can vary wildly. One plan would cover all the medications at a very low copay or no copay at all, or zero copay. Other ones, and that same set of medications on another Medicare Advantage plan, 2 drugs are not covered, or they're covered at a tier 3 or a tier 4. So these plans decide what tier level, and basically that's the copay level of each individual drug is. So it's always good if you're already on a Medicare Advantage plan or a prescription drug plan to get an annual review, and we can do that for you.
Tom, how many tier levels are there?
Typically, there's 5. There's the preferred. Tier 1 is preferred generic. Tier 2 is generic. Tier 3 is preferred brand, and Tier 4 non-preferred brand, and Tier 5 would be specialty.
Very good.
Yeah,
very good. So there's 2 drug plans we want to talk about. We're not going to mention them by the name, but the one drug plan is the least expensive in the state of Florida at $7.30 a month. And a lot of people say, I want the cheapest drug plan. Why am I going to pay $30 or $90 a month or whatever that premium is when I can pay $7? Why is that, Tom? Why would you not want to be in that specific plan?
Well, that's a very good question, Gary. And some people do say that, I want this. And actually, it's going up to $7.70 next year. So there's a 40 cents increase for 2022. But that particular plan may fit for a few people or a small section of the people out there that have either no medications they're on. They don't even think they're going to be on any medication, or they take 1 or 2 tier 1 medication, because once you get to tier 2 through 5, there's a deductible of $450 this year. And I believe it did go up for next year as well. So if you get on just another basic generic that's not a tier 1, you're going to have to pay the full price of that medication until you reach $450. So, and being that it's the lowest cost monthly premium, it probably has a lower number of medications that are covered. That's called the formulary, which is the list of medications. So it may not cover that one drug that sometime in April or May of next year, August, the doctor wants you to go on that medication. You find out that particular plan that you're on for $7.70, though it's great for a lot of people or some people, it may not be great for you because it doesn't cover your drug.
Absolutely. Don't take the road alone. You might think you know what you're doing, but if you're not a licensed chiropractor or a licensed insurance agent who has experience and knowledge to be your personal guide on your Medicare journey, don't do it alone. So, and Tom's exactly right. So that, if you're on a tier 1 drug, maybe that plan may fit for you at $7 and now 70 cents a month, but we don't have a crystal ball. I mean, Dr. Brian does, but most of us don't have a crystal ball that says, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months down the road, I'm going to be on a tier 2 or 3 or 4 drug. And now you're in the wrong drug plan. And now you're going to be wishing to the dear Lord that you are not on that specific drug plan. The second drug plan we're going to get to in a second, but Dr. Brian.
Yes.
What is the 2022 Part D deductible? It's gone up from $445 to how much?
$450.
No.
Did you just say it?
Man, he didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
It's actually gone up to $480. So keep that in mind that for 2022, you will have to pay $480 out of pocket for your deductible. Now, there are some drug plans that have a zero deductible, but you will pay a higher premium for that drug plan. So, for example, there's a drug plan from a certain company, starts with a W, and today in 2021, the premium is $17.20. That premium is going up now to $67, $68 a month. So again, leave it to the experts, because at the end of the day, it is truly about the formulary that you're on, the pharmacy that you go to, and the tier level. So our staff at Owen Insurance Group will make sure we'll sit down and we'll take a drug list from you. We'll do all the heavy lifting. All you have to do is trust our experience.
Absolutely. And you can give us a call at 772-210-1020, or we have another number as well. Okay?
That number is a great number. I love this number, 772-210-1020. Dr. Brian, do you know that number?
772-210-1020.
Oh, see, our last guest couldn't ever get our number right.
We love our last
but we
guest.
love her.
Skylar?
Yes.
She kept guessing Truman's mom for every question. Did you
Yeah.
Every question, the answer
Skylar was great.
Truman's mom. I don't know what her deal was with that, but yeah, she kept guessing.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was
She's
fun.
great, though.
210-1020.
And then I asked her when we had our leadership class last Thursday, I asked her, hey, say, Skylar, what's our number? Oh, my gosh, you got it wrong again, but it's okay.
Yes.
You still love it.
210-1020. All right, I got it.
So, Tom, is there a donut hole? We hear about the donuts. People love donuts.
Yes.
So is there a donut hole still today? And we know that 2019, they did away with the donut hole, but now we're still hearing about the donut hole.
Well, the donut hole is once the total cost of your medication reaches a certain amount.
$44.30.
$4,430. That doesn't mean that's how much you put out of pocket, but the total cost of how much your drugs actually cost. You go into the donut hole, technically called the coverage gap, but the donut hole, people still refer to it, but it has all the medication. You'll pay a 25% copay on both brand and generic. So sometimes, Gary, I've noticed on a recent lookup for someone, once they got into the donut hole, they would actually pay less because the cost of their medication being 25% of that is lower than, say, a tier 3 copay of $47. So, but typically people don't like going into the donut hole because it increases the cost of their medication.
And but they don't last long in the donut hole because we know that the number they hit is $44.30. They'll pay out of the $44.30. They may pay a third of that, or not even a third of that.
Right, because manufacturer discounts and a lot of behind the scenes things take over.
So from $44.30 to $7,050, that's when they'll hit the catastrophic phase. What happens, Tom, in the catastrophic phase?
Once you get into the catastrophic,
Dr. Brian's looking scared over there.
that means you put out a lot of money, number one, as has the insurance company. But once you get on that side of the donut hole, you would pay a small fee for a generic or a small fee for a brand, or 5% of the cost of the medication, whichever is more or less. So there's some calculation there, which I'm sure the handy dandy chart has over there.
$395 copay for generic, $985 copay for brand or non-preferred brand is basically what you'd pay, or 5% coinsurance.
Right. And I did mention insulin earlier, and
That's
insulin
next.
been
Yes.
the Achilles here, and maybe you were going to mention it, Gary, but
Bring it up. This is good. This is perfect timing.
yeah, last year they did a lot of great things. Actually, I think 2 years ago under the previous administration, where they made insulin for a lot of the carriers or latching on to this program where insulin would just be a flat $35 copay through all the different stages, through even the deductible, the initial stage, the donut hole, and the catastrophic. It'd be straight 35 because people were just getting hammered. You know, the cost of their medication would be, $1,500, and they'd have to pay 25% of that every month. And some people living on very tight budgets really could not do it. So it's been a great program.
The insulin savings program is a great program, but it may not cover your specific brand of insulin, right? So this is what
there are some rules.
There are some definite restrictions. And sometimes it may not make sense for you because maybe you're taking a laundry list of drugs, and maybe that specific plan is not going to work for you. So This is what we do. I mean, the remuneration that we get for drug plans is, what's the word I want to use? Paltry. Peanuts. Paltry peanuts. Yeah. So we get paid like enough to cover a Cosmopolitan. All right.
Or it's fill up of the gas.
No, you can't even fill up a gas tank.
Gas is too expensive.
Yeah, that's right.
Cosmopolitan. You cannot fill up a gas tank on the money we get paid on prescription drug plans. So
correct.
There's no money in it. So we do it for love, and we do it for our clients, and we know that if you don't get your drug plan right, man, I'm telling you, it is going to cost you. It's going to hit your pocket hard, and why do that? Why put yourself through that when you have over 300 agents from Owen Insurance Group throughout the state of Florida that can help you? I just got a message on my phone from Sandra M. that, hey, Gary, I need help with my Medicare mess. So this is what we're here. We are Tommy and I, and all of us at Owen Insurance Group are here to unravel the mysteries of Medicare and take you by the hand and take you through the Medicare maze and take you down that Medicare journey. And we're going to do it the right way. We're not going to push you through a certain a path or a certain plan or to a certain carrier. This is why at Owen Insurance Group, every one of us throughout the state of Florida, we are all independent brokers, independent agents. And what does that mean to you? That means that we represent all the carriers, not one carrier. So if you represent one carrier, does that make you biased or unbiased, do you think, Dr. B?
I would think biased.
I would think so too. Yeah. But I would rather you say that than me.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, yes. So thank you for saying that.
Would you like plan A or plan A?
Yeah, well, I think I'll take
plan AAA.
Plan A.
Yeah.
So this is what we do. So we will sit down, we will do a cost-benefit analysis with you, for you, and we'll make the recommendation. It's up to you to decide. All that we can do is be your guide. We'll help you enroll, but it's up to you to make that decision.
Gary,
yes,
can I say something? You guys are incredibly knowledgeable with this insurance stuff. I mean, I've been listening to here, and I've learned a lot. And I'm not on Medicare, but I didn't know any of this stuff. I'm really impressed with the wealth of knowledge you guys have.
I appreciate that.
And I have a lot of people that are basically getting toward, like, they're lifetime patients, and they're going to be getting on Medicare. I'm going to definitely start giving them your phone number, because it is a mess to go through.
It is.
It is very confusing, but you guys dissected it, made it really easy, and I'm really impressed with the wealth of knowledge that both of you gentlemen
I appreciate that, Doc.
And, Gary had a motto at our Owen Insurance Group that we use occasionally. It's called simplifying insurance planning so that they can live the stress-free life that they deserve. And so people turning 65 or going on to Medicare in their senior years, they don't need additional stress that they get from their mailbox being filled up, and we'll help simplify it. Just give us a call.
And by the way, the average monthly premium for 2022 in a Part D plan is $33 a month. That is the average. That's a national average. And someone said to me, one of my clients, he turned 65, and I got 3 minutes left. Oh my goodness! And so we enrolled him in a Medicare supplement plan. And he goes, Gary, I don't need Part D. I'm not taking any drugs. Well, it's against my recommendation. I don't think you should do it. And here's why. Because obviously we don't know what tomorrow holds, or next month holds, or next year. So it's important to get on a drug plan. And secondly, if you don't take a drug plan when you first become eligible, you will start accruing a penalty of 1% per month until you can get on a drug plan. So we don't recommend taking that approach of keeping your head in the sand and doing nothing. So don't do it. And also want to remind everybody, for those of you that are making a limited income, there is extra help that you could qualify for based on your income. So if you're if you're an individual making less than $1,600 a month, you qualify for what's called LIS, or low income subsidy. So you don't have to take on the brunt of the prescription drug costs. There is help out there. You can apply for it. So remember, if your yearly income is $19,000 or less, or if you're married, less than $26,000, you could qualify for some sort. There's different levels of LIS support. And so all you got to do is contact Social Security, call Medicare, call Medicaid, call our office, 772-210-1020, and let us be your guide on your Medicare journey. October 15th is coming quickly, this Friday. That's when the Medicare annual enrollment period begins. So you have until the 15th of October till the 7th of December to change plans, whether it's a Part D prescription drug or a Medicare Advantage plan, and enroll in a different plan for a January 1 effective date. So just want to remind everybody about that. And again, don't be an ostrich. Don't keep your head in the sand. Do something about it. Call the man. We're the men and the women of Owen Insurance Group at 772-210-1020. And with that, I've got my finger in my nose that we have less than a minute left.
Finger in your nose.
Next week, October 19th, our special guests on the show will be Kenya Reinhardt and Jennifer Garcia with Treasure Coast for Kids. So you don't want to miss that. It's going to be a great one. I love them. What a great cause. Of course, Tom and I will be back in the house providing you valuable information about insurance solutions. So we certainly appreciate you being on the show with us. Thank you for joining us. And be sure to tell your friends, your family, your loved ones about this great show. Dr. Brian, thanks for being on the show today. We appreciate having you.
It was an honor.
Thank you very much. And remember, Treasure Coast, stay safe, keep healthy, be happy, and enjoy your quality of life. Take care, everybody.